For weeks ago in Rome, she walked off the court defeated in straight sets. The scoreboard read 6-4, 6-3, and for most people watching, the conclusion felt obvious. Alexandra Eala had talent, yes. She had flashes of brilliance, absolutely. But against the very best players in the world, against proven champions under the brightest lights, there was still a gap. A real one. That was the story tennis fans believed. Then Berlin happened. And now the entire sport is trying to process what it just witnessed. Because what Alexandra Eala did against Elena Rybakina wasn't just an upset. It wasn't even just revenge. It was the kind of performance. For weeks ago in Rome, she walked off the court defeated in straight sets. The scoreboard read 6-4, 6-3, and for most people watching, the conclusion felt obvious. Alexandra Eala had talent, yes. She had flashes of brilliance, absolutely. But against the very best players in the world, against proven champions under the brightest lights, there was still a gap. A real one. That was the story tennis fans believed. Then Berlin happened. And now the entire sport is trying to process what it just witnessed. Because what Alexandra Eala did against Elena Rybakina wasn't just an upset. It wasn't even just revenge. It was the kind of performance that changes how a player is viewed forever. The kind of match that takes someone from dangerous outsider to legitimate threat in the eyes of the entire tennis world. And the craziest part? For the first 25 minutes, it looked like none of this was going to happen at all. Rybakina came out looking exactly like the player everyone feared she would be. Calm, ruthless, efficient. Her serve exploded off the grass like a weapon specifically designed for the surface. Ace after ace. Free point after free point. The world number 2 looked completely in control, and the crowd inside Berlin's Steffi Graf Stadium could feel it immediately. At 4-1 in the opening set, the match already felt familiar. Too familiar. Because this was exactly how these matches are supposed to go when a reigning Australian Open champion faces a rising player ranked outside the top 30. The favorite establishes dominance early. The underdog hangs around for a few games. Then reality takes over. That's what everyone thought they were watching unfold. And honestly, why wouldn't they? Elena Rybakina is not just another elite player. She's one of the most intimidating forces in women's tennis. A former Wimbledon champion. One of the cleanest ball strikers on tour. A player whose serve is statistically among the most dominant in the entire sport. When she gets ahead on grass, matches usually become exercises in survival for whoever is standing across from her. Alexandra Eala knew that better than anyone, because she had already lived through it once before. Their first meeting came in Rome during the Italian Open.
Matches usually become exercises in survival for whoever is standing across from her.
Eala had arrived
Alexandra
there
Eala
carrying
knew that
momentum
better than
and
anyone,
belief after
because
a
she had
strong
already
stretch
lived
of results. She'd fought through tough rounds, earned her place in the third round, and looked ready for the biggest challenge of her young career. Then she ran into Rybakina, and the match was brutally clear. Rybakina controlled the rallies, controlled the pace, controlled the pressure. Straight sets. No dramatic comeback. No magical turning point. Just a reminder of how difficult the jump from talented prospect to genuine contender really is. For rising players, losses like that stay with you. Not publicly. Athletes are trained too well for that. They give calm interviews. They talk about learning experiences, growth, positives. But internally, defeats like that leave marks. They create questions that only another opportunity can answer. Can I really beat players like this? Can I actually survive these moments? Do I belong here
Because she had already
permanently
lived
or
through it
only
once
occasionally?
before. Their
That's
first
the
meeting
emotional
came in
weight
Rome during the
Alexandra
matches
Eala
usually become
carried into
exercises.
And if we're being honest, not many people expected her to answer those questions the way
Because
she
she had
did.
already lived
Even
through
getting
it
into
once
the tournament
before.
felt uncertain.
Their first
at
meeting
first.
came in Rome
Eala
during the
entered
matches
Berlin
usually
as a
become
wild card,
exercises in survival
essentially
for
an
whoever is
invitation
standing
into one of
across
the
from her.
strongest
Eala had
grass court
Alexandra
events of the
Eala.
season. Wild cards are complicated in tennis. They can feel like opportunity, but they can also feel like judgment. Like the tournament believes in your potential more than your current standing does. Some players shrink under that pressure. Eala didn't. Her first-round opponent was Donna Vekic, fresh off winning Queen's Club and playing some of the best grass court tennis of her career. Another terrible draw. Another match where the odds leaned heavily in the other direction. And once again, Eala found herself under pressure. She lost momentum early, faced triple break point while serving for the match, the kind of moment where nerves usually take over. But instead of collapsing, she saved all 3 break points and closed the match with fearless tennis. Afterwards, she said something simple that barely registered at the time. "She's fighting back, but I'm also a fighter." At the time, it sounded like a routine post-match quote. Now it feels like the entire theme of her Berlin run. Because against Rybakina, she was about to prove just how real that mentality had become. Back to that opening set. Down 4-1. Rybakina serving bombs. The crowd expecting a routine finish. And somewhere in that moment, something shifted. Not dramatically at first. No huge celebration. No emotional explosion. Just small signs that Eala was refusing to disappear. A clean return deep into the court. A backhand winner struck without hesitation. Longer rallies beginning to lean her direction. The scoreboard still favored Rybakina, but the energy of the match started changing. Quietly, gradually, then all at once. Eala broke back, then held. Then suddenly the set was level at 4-all, and the entire stadium realized this wasn't following the script anymore. You could feel the tension change in real time. Because this is the thing about elite athletes. They can sense when momentum starts slipping. And for the first time in the match, Rybakina looked slightly uncertain. Not panicked. Champions like her rarely panic, but surprised. Forced to think. Forced to adjust. And Alexandra Eala kept swinging. When Rybakina moved ahead 5-4, many players would have mentally accepted that the comeback effort had probably come too late. Not Eala. She attacked again. Played freer, braver, cleaner. 3 straight games later, she had stolen the set 7-5. Stolen might not even be the right word. She earned it. Completely. And suddenly the atmosphere inside the stadium transformed. Phones came out. Conversations changed. The audience that had expected a showcase for the favorite was now watching something far more compelling. A young player discovering in real time that she might actually be good enough to beat one of the best in the world. That realization is dangerous. Because once belief enters a match like this, everything changes. The second set proved it. Rybakina opened by holding serve, trying to reset the match and remind everyone who she was. Grand Slam champions don't disappear quietly. But Eala didn't back down. She matched the intensity point for point, built a 4-2 lead, and from there, the pressure shifted completely onto Rybakina's side of the net. Now, the favorite was the one searching for answers. Now, the world number 2 was the one feeling the crowd lean toward the underdog. And Eala kept playing with astonishing calm for someone standing in the biggest moment of her career. No panic. No rush decisions. No signs that the occasion was swallowing her whole. When match point finally arrived, the tension inside the stadium was unreal. Rybakina missed a backhand. The ball sailed long. And for half a second, Eala almost looked frozen, like her mind needed time to catch up with what had just happened. Then came the roar. Pure emotion. Not manufactured. Not rehearsed. Real. Final score, 7-5, 6-4. 1 hour and 32 minutes that completely altered the narrative surrounding Alexandra Eala. But strangely enough, the moment everyone kept replaying afterward wasn't even the handshake. It was what happened next. Still emotional. Still visibly shaking. Before the post-match interview had even properly settled in, Eala picked up her phone and called her father right there beside the court. In front of the cameras. In front of the crowd. In front of everyone watching around the world. No polished media training. No carefully prepared speech. Just a daughter calling home after the biggest win of her life. "We were screaming," she said later, smiling through the adrenaline. My mom was there too. I'm really happy.
Design the perfect voice
and
for
maybe
your brand
that's the
with
reason
11
this
Labs.
moment resonated so deeply with people.
Change the way you
Sports
record
fans can
podcasts,
recognize
voiceovers,
authenticity
and branded
instantly.
content with the
In an
#1
era where
AI-powered
so
voice.
many athlete interviews
In
sound
front of the
carefully
crowd,
filtered
in
and
front of
emotionally
everyone
neutral,
watching around the
Eala's
world.
reaction felt
No
human in the
polished
purest
screaming,
possible way.
she said later,
She wasn't trying to
smiling through
create
the
a
adrenaline.
viral moment.
My mom was there
She
too.
was living
I'm
one.
really happy.
Design
That
the perfect
authenticity spread across social media almost immediately.
voice for
maybe
your
that's
Clips
brand
of the
with
phone
11
call
Labs.
exploded
resonate.
online. Tennis fans who hadn't watched the match suddenly wanted to know who Alexandra Eala was. And
For weeks ago
longtime
in Rome,
followers of the sport
she walked
started
off the
asking
court
a much bigger
defeated in
question.
straight sets.
Is this just
The
one
scoreboard
incredible
read
upset?
6-4,
Or
6-3.
is this the beginning of something much
And
larger?
for most people
because
watching,
here's what
the
makes this
conclusion
victory
felt
different
obvious.
from a random
Alexandra
surprise
Eala
result.
had talent,
It fits
yes.
a pattern. This wasn't Eala's first major scalp. She had already beaten Madison Keys, already beaten Coco Gauff, already beaten IGA Swiatek. Those wins weren't accidents. Now she had added Elena Rybakina to that list too. That matters. Upsets happen in tennis all the time, but repeated wins against elite opponents across multiple surfaces and tournaments. That's not luck anymore. That's evidence. Evidence that the ceiling might be far higher than people realized. And perhaps the most important detail of all is this. The version of Alexandra Eala who lost in Rome is not the same version who walked onto the grass in Berlin. Not technically, not mentally, not emotionally. Rome taught her what the level looked like. Berlin proved she could reach it herself. That's a massive difference. Because tennis at the highest level is rarely just about talent. Everyone has talent. What separates contenders from everyone else is belief under pressure. The ability to stay brave when the match starts slipping away. Down 4-1 against the best server in women's tennis on grass, most players start protecting themselves emotionally from disappointment. Alexandra Eala attacked harder. That's the part that should scare the rest of the tour. Not the ranking, not the headlines, the mindset. Because players don't usually come back from a loss like Rome this quickly unless something inside them has fundamentally changed. And now Wimbledon is approaching. That changes everything. A few weeks ago, opponents might have looked at Alexandra Eala's name in the draw and seen a talented young player capable of causing problems on a good day. After Berlin, they see something else entirely. A player who has already proven she can beat Grand Slam champions. A player who now walks onto grass courts carrying genuine confidence instead of hopeful ambition. A player who no longer needs permission to believe she belongs. That is an entirely different threat. Because confidence in tennis is cumulative. One breakthrough win becomes another fearless performance later. One comeback becomes proof that no deficit is impossible. The memory of surviving pressure becomes armor in the next big moment. Berlin may end up being remembered as far more than a great tournament run. It might be remembered as the week Alexandra Eala stopped being promising and started becoming inevitable. And that's why tennis fans are losing their minds over this result tonight. Not simply because she beat Elena Rybakina, but because of how she did it. Because of what it revealed. Because for the first time, the future stopped looking far away. It stepped directly onto center court and announced itself in front of the entire tennis world.